Hi guys, a massive thank you for checking this short video out here today. If you've typed in cheap goalkeeping gloves or discounted goalkeeping gloves into a search engine, the chances are you're going to end up spending more money, I'm afraid guys. Now, before I explain why I've just said that, let me just quickly introduce myself if you've not heard of myself or J4K before. We're Just for Keepers, J4K, and we started off as a goalkeeping company, goalkeeping academy, in 1999. We're now the leading and largest goalkeeping schools in the world, currently operating in 23 countries and across 5 continents. Rather than me go on about that here, just check out J4K, Just for Keepers, and you will see that we're doing great things for young goalkeepers all over the world. We also brought out our own goalkeeper glove, the J4K goalkeeping glove, Just for Keepers, about 4 or 5 years ago now, and because of the price point and all the free advice that we give, it's become one of the leading glove companies globally. Now, before, as I say guys, I'm going to explain now why you possibly will be wasting money or spending more money by typing in cheap goalkeeping gloves. Let me explain why. When you type that into the search engine, these big companies know how to place themselves first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. And they will put cheap goalkeeping gloves in their links because that's what you've asked for at the end of the day. The problem is, guys, cheap, especially with goalkeeping, doesn't necessarily mean that you'll save money. And please listen to this for a few reasons. The reason why you've got to be careful getting a cheap goalkeeping glove, generally the palms are very, very thin. It's like a 2mm palm. Now, if you're buying a cheap pair of goalkeeping gloves for your child or daughter, a 2mm palm is not going to give them any protection whatsoever. Ideally, you need at least a 4mm palm, guys, seriously, especially for the young child. Put yourself in a position, of an 8 to 12-year-old goalkeeper or a goalkeeper who's even younger. It's raining, it's cold, and that ball's getting, struck at them. And they're having to save a wet ball, the hands are cold, and you've only got 2mm padding. Not going to give them much protection, guys, okay? Also, as well, another thing that you'll be careful of as well is that they're like paper, so they'll just keep ripping. And this is the point of this video. If you buy like the cheap goalkeeping gloves, most of them are like paper, so they'll keep ripping. Okay, yeah, you might get a pair for less than $10 or £10, but if you've got to keep buying a pair every single month, in the long run, you're not going to save money. What you're best doing, now whether it's a J4K glove or any other glove, I don't care, guys, to be honest with you. What you're best doing is just spending £4 to £5 more. That's all, seriously, guys. So instead of paying, 10 to, maybe £11 or dollars for a pair of gloves, spend about £15 to £16 on a pair of goalkeeping gloves for your child. It's about $15 to $16. It's only a few pound more, but what you'll find, as long as you go to the correct company, what you'll find is that there's more padding in the glove. So what will happen there, one, that gives your child protection, but two, the more padding, the longer they're going to last as well, okay? And it's also very important as well to make sure that you look after your gloves properly. So when you've obviously when you've wore the gloves, make sure that they're washed properly, and make sure before you play, make sure that the palms are dampened. Now, we've got other videos on that. I'm not going to go into detail now, but just by spending just a few more pounds on a pair of gloves, guys, making sure you prepare them properly before the game. It's just a matter of dampening the palm, and make sure they're clean properly after the game. It'll cost you, as I say, £3 or £4 more. As long as you look after them, you'll now get 3 to 4 months out of that goalkeeping glove rather than one pair every month, if that makes sense. So again, without harping on too much about it, guys, so rather than getting like a real cheap pair, guys, and having to spend every single month and not really offering any protection for the young goalkeeper, just spend only a few pound more, guys. I'm not saying be silly, just only a few pound more, and those gloves will last 2 to 3, sometimes 4 times as long. So you're only buying maybe 3, 4 pairs maximum a season rather than 8 or 9 pairs. Okay, so in the long run, it saves you money, okay? So just be very careful, like say, when you type in cheap goalkeeping gloves or discounted goalkeeping gloves into Google or Yahoo, whichever search engine you use, you've got to be very careful because these top guys know how to market properly. They're like the big time marketers, if that makes sense. So they know what you're sort of looking for, if that makes sense. And once you click on their link and you go through into their website, you will be buying cheap goalkeeper gloves because that's what you asked for. But even though that you're buying cheap goalkeeper gloves, what they're not telling you is in the long run, you're not going to save money, if that makes sense. You're going to end up spending more money with them. Okay, so I hope this tip helps, guys. Okay, yep. So again, check us out. Please don't feel obligated to get anything from J4K, whether you go to ourselves or you go somewhere else. Just make sure, guys, as I say, you get a glove for around the £14 to £15 mark. Look after those gloves, and you should save a lot of money over the year, guys. Okay, so this is Ray Newland wishing you the best of goalkeeping, and I hope this quick tip helped.